Real Salt Lake finishing up training and coming off the backside of Saturday night's 0-0 draw at home against FC Dallas. The point here at Rio Tinto Stadium good enough to keep RSL as the only undefeated team in Major League Soccer, tying the record set by the LA Galaxy at 12 games to start the year.
We started the game with the right energy and commitment, but maybe the soccer wasn't there, especially in the first half. But we talked at halftime about exactly what we wanted to change and do in the second half. And I thought we did those things. I thought we became cleaner on the ball with our passing and movement, and really stepped into their end of the field and kept them there for most of the game. But we didn't seem to create, clear chances as we have in most games this season. So we talked about, where can we find those chances in different ways, maybe when something's not on. And so going forward, I thought it was good, especially defensively. And we can take that, into Seattle, which is going to be a really difficult place to play against a really good team. And we'll see how things go.
We weren't playing with urgency enough, especially in the first half, and I think that allowed them to have a little bit more energy to defend us in the second half. So this week we stressed on making sure we're playing positive, playing with that urgency, and trying to wear down our opponent.
Next up for Real Salt Lake, a trip to the Pacific Northwest. They'll take on the Seattle Sounders. Ziggy Schmidt and company coming off a 2-2 draw on the road at the Vancouver Whitecaps, and will be without the services of Clint Dempsey.
He's a guy that, when he's in form, is just very dangerous, especially in the final third. One of the few guys in this league that can kind of create something out of nowhere. And so obviously it's a hit for them, but we're missing guys as well, so it's kind of a wash. We're gonna play the game, and those things aren't going to matter. But yeah, they're definitely missing a dangerous player in their attack, but I think they've done well, to add depth over the years, and I think they're probably one of the deepest teams in the league now, so they're going to have other good players out there.
Before they had Clint, they were a dangerous team, and they still have, for the most part, the same players. So Ofemi Martins, Lamar Nagel, Kenny Cooper, those are guys that have done well for them, especially at home. So it's going to be a handful.
You got Ofemi Martins, Papa, and Alonso when he joins into the attack is always dangerous, and they're very good on set plays. So a lot of dangerous players, a lot of good movement. But we feel that we can get them on the other end as well, because they do commit a lot of numbers forward, and it's what we do with the ball.
For Real Salt Lake, this will be the first time all season long that they played 3 games in the next 7 days. On the road in Seattle, then on the road Wednesday night in Columbus, and followed up by a home game against the Portland Timbers.
Biggest thing, especially with the travel, is to take care of your bodies, especially after this first game. You've got to refuel the right way. You've got to do the right things off the field. But to be honest, I like playing 3 games in 7 days. You get into more of a rhythm. You don't have to wait the entire week to play the next game. So it shouldn't be a big deal.
Obviously, it's difficult, especially with the travel. Going up to Seattle, then all the way across to Columbus. And so obviously the coaching staff and the training staff is going to have a bit of a plan. The problem is sometimes you never know how things are going to play out, whether it's injury or guys are fatigued, yellow card, red card, anything like that. And so I just think it's a situation where we're going to travel a lot of guys, and everybody needs to be ready to play. I think there's going to be some guys called on this week that haven't received many minutes this season, and so those guys, along with the other core group, just need to push through things a little bit and stick together. And everyone understands their role here, so everyone that's going to be playing will be understanding what's asked of them. And so I think it's going to be a good, fun week, and a good chance for some new guys to get some minutes and get their feet wet a little bit.
Every World Cup you hear about it, so many unfortunate injuries right before the tournament, and it's unfortunately part of the game. And I really feel for Sabo, because that's such a terrible position to be in, and he has to miss out on a World Cup, and not only that, but now be out the next 4 months. And injuries themselves are extremely difficult to deal with mentally. So hopefully we can do our best to welcome him back and get him in good spirits and just kind of help him along this tough time.
Well, we have a deep team. We're all on the team extremely gutted for Sabo, because we know how hard he's worked to have this opportunity. But we're going to welcome him back with open arms. We're going to take care of him and give him everything he needs to get back on the field as quickly as possible.
Watch RSL take on Seattle on May 31st at 2 o'clock on Utah's CW30.